So in this tutorial, you guys are going to learn how to draw all these different kinds of shapes. Some of them can get a little crazy. However, this is all extremely essential knowledge and tools that you guys are going to need for all projects that we're going to be working on in Illustrator. So as you can see, we're going to be drawing all these types of shapes. You're going to have this document and you're going to open it up from the class website and you're going to save it into your folder, and then you're going to open it in Illustrator. Now, if you'll notice, all of these are these kind of grayed out dashed line paths. What you're going to do is you're going to be creating this shape using the different shape tools. So the first one we have here, if you'll notice in this top corner, it tells you rectangle tool. Then using the rectangle tool, we're going to do these four things, and it's going to show you some things like width 20 millimeters, height 20 millimeters. So it's giving you guys some information for that shape below it. And here, like on this one, says delete anchor point, and that's how you get this shape. So then the next row is the ellipse tool, the star tool, the polygon tool, and then the rounded rectangle tool with different requirements for that each tool. So where you find your tools, I'm going to move this guy over here, is your shape tools are on the toolbar, which is on the left hand side. And if you click and hold on this rectangle, you'll see all your tools. Your rectangle tool, rounded edge tool, rounded rectangle tool, ellipse tool, polygon, star, and flare. The only one we're not going to be using is flared because it's kind of useless and silly in most things that we do in Illustrator, and it's very rarely, if ever, used. So we're going to start with the first one, which is simply your rectangle tool. So if that one's already not showing up, you need to click, if you have like the star tool or the ellipse tool or something showing, you need to click and hold and select the rectangle tool. Then you're going to come into your document. You might want to zoom in a little bit, and you're going to click on the edge, and you're going to click and drag right to there. Now, I don't really require that you guys do a lot of color and things like that. However, it might be useful for you to have a little bit brighter color. I'm going to go with green because I like green. And it may also be useful to increase the stroke to maybe 2 or 3. That way you can just kind of see your shape. The size 1 stroke is very thin. So that's how we use the basic rectangle tool to make a rectangle. So then we're going to come in, we're going to grab the rectangle tool again, and this time it says width 20 millimeters, height 20 millimeters. How you can get exact shapes and exact sizes is if on your mouse you double click, it brings up this box that allows you to type in an exact measurement. And then you just click OK. And it has created a box. Then using your selection tool, if you just select V, you can move the box so it covers up. So if you notice, this box and this box here are the same size, just one is rotated. So you can use the rectangle tool again and draw another one, or if you select on this rectangle, hold down Alt, copy it, hold down Shift, and rotate it, you have a perfect diamond. The next one, you are going to draw a rectangle again. Oops. Actually, let's do it this way, a little bit easier. I'm going to delete this. You're going to, okay, so the easiest way to do this is click your diamond again, hold down Alt, make a copy of it, bring it over and place it right there. Now we need to delete an anchor point. So how we do that is we're going to grab our direct selection tool, which your shortcut key for that is A, so it's the white arrow. You're going to click on this anchor point and you're going to click the delete button. Now that's one way of deleting it. Now you'll notice it has 2 sides now, but nothing in the center. So a better way of doing this to where you will actually still get your line, because if you notice we want that line, is you come over here to the pen tool. It's right here, 5th one from the top. Click and hold and see where it says delete anchor point. You're going to select that tool and then you're simply going to click on the anchor point you want to delete, and then see how it changes the shape without actually getting rid of this line. So you still have an enclosed shape, and that's what's really important. So that's how you use the rectangle tool. The next tool we're going to use is the ellipse tool. So if we go back to our toolbar, click and hold on the rectangle tool and go down to ellipse tool. It's also the shortcut for L. So with our ellipse tool, if we want a perfect circle when we're using the ellipse tool, when you start to draw, you'll notice that it's kind of an oval and you can squish it. But if you want a perfect circle, you have to hold down the Shift key. Once you hold down the Shift key, you will get a perfect circle. If you find that your circle is a little too small, hold down Shift, grab the corner, and make it a little bit bigger. If it's too big, you can grab the corner, hold down Shift, and make it a little smaller. So now I'm going to make a copy of this, hold down Alt, make a copy, line it up over here. We need to delete an anchor point. So I'm going to come to my Delete Anchor Point tool, click right there. Now you'll notice it did not make it perfect. So there's a couple things you can do. You can't delete this anchor point because that messes it up. What you have to do is come over here and you need to go to the anchor point tool. Oops. And you need to grab this handle and bring it down and click on it. Grab this handle, bring it up, and then just click on it. That way it deletes one handle but preserves the other handles. So we're going to do that again, but the opposite way. So I'm going to, using my Move tool, the selection tool, I'm going to hold down Alt. On this circle, I'm going to make a copy of it. You really want to have the practice in this. I'm going to go back here to my pen tool and get the Delete Anchor Point. I'm going to delete the top one. I'm going to go back into this tool and get the Anchor Point tool. Now if you notice there's little shortcuts here. You can use the negative sign or Shift C to get your anchor points. I'm going to grab this handle, click Delete, grab this handle, click Delete, and that's how you get a perfect one. Now this next one, I'm going to make a copy. So you can make a copy of the full circle, or I'm going to make a copy of this half circle. I'm going to start out right there, so that way it's a nice points lined up. I'm going to grab my direct selection tool, which is shortcut A, and I'm going to grab this handle here. So you just select the stroke, grab this handle. I'm going to stretch this out. Now you notice when you move these handles around, it messes everything up. I'm going to grab this handle and I'm going to, Control Z to undo. Move this guy here. So you might have to click around a little bit on this, and that's fine. I'm going to stretch this handle out. I'm going to grab this handle, move it over, and stretch this out. And there you go. So you're definitely going to have to use the handles for this. There is another way to do this, and it's called the Free Transform Perspective Distort mode. So technically, we can take this circle, go here. I'm going to move this one off to the side. You're going to pretty much put it here. Then you're going to go up to Object, and you're going to go down to Free Transform. Edit, sorry. Go to Edit. Where is it? Okay, so Free Transform, if you notice this says Free Transform Perspective Distort mode, used to be up under Object, which is why I was really confused. But in the new Adobe CC 2018, which is what we are using, they have it in a new place. So on your toolbar, down here underneath this claw looking thing, you will see the puppet warp tool, this little thumbtack. Click and hold on that, and then you will see Free Transform tool, which is a shortcut for E. then it will pop up with the 4 ones. So we want the perspective distort. So you click on that, and then you're able to click on these points and see how it changes. It really lets you do a lot of different things. So essentially, we can grab this. There's all these little handles here. Might have to zoom in to see them. So here is a little handle. Oops. No. Okay, so if you click out of it, you will have to go back into the tool. Just be warned. So I'm trying to grab this little handle, so let's move this guy. There we go, that's what I want. Oh. There, I want this handle. And then you're kind of going to line things up. Line that up. And then so as you can see, this is a little different, a little weird. Just play around with this and get this as close as possible. So you can kind of do it either way, whatever is really your comfort zone. I like actually working with the anchor points versus using this distort tool because you have a little bit more control and a little bit more freedom. So I would like you to try the distort mode so you can play around with that tool. Okay, so that is our ellipse tools. Next, we're going to go back to our star tool. So you're going to come in under your tools again, go to star tool, and you will notice if you click and drag, you create these really cool stars. If you hold down shift, it allows you to keep your star in the same spot and make it large or small. I'm going to turn the fill off on this star just so when I'm working, I can see the inside. Now, if you notice, it says press up 7. So if I create my star and then I go onto my keyboard and I press the up arrow 7 times. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I now have this crazy pointed star. And I'm just going to move it over. Now, the next one, it says press and hold control, because we're using PCs, and drag it out. So click on my star tool, press and hold control. That is not what's supposed to happen. Okay, it is not control, it is alt. They have changed some of the settings a little bit. So if you press and hold alt on the PC, and I'll update this on the document before I give it to you guys, it'll be alt. Press and hold alt to drag it out. Now you also notice that if I press and hold control, you get really pointy ones. So what we can do is using your star tool, when you press alt, it makes it a little bit smoother. Kind of get it to the right size you want. And you can kind of mess with it a little bit. Okay, so pressing and holding alt to drag it out to get more of this shape, and then control brings back a lot of the spikes. Now it says radius 1, 22 millimeters, radius 2, 10 millimeters, 5 sides, free transform mode. So if you click with the mouse twice, double click, radius 1 is going to be 20 millimeters, radius 2 is going to be 10 millimeters, and then how many points or sides we want, 5. Click OK. Now it says free transform. So if you click on this, go back over to your toolbar. Underneath the claw, remember we were using the free transform tool. So we just want to click on free transform. And this pretty much allows us to move things around. You will have to use your direct selection tool to move some of the, not that. Don't click on these little red dots, that'll change it from points. So I'm going to grab, so this allows you to simply move the points where you need them to be. So you do want to use your direct selection tool, which is your white arrow. So you should be able to line these ones up pretty easily. It does help if you don't have a fill on so you can see where the lines are. And there you go. That's your star tools. Next, we're going to go down here to the Polygon tool. So go back under your tools, grab your Polygon. Now you notice you can spin it all around, hold down Shift, and it keeps it nice and steady for you. And there we go. You want to make it a little smaller, hold down Shift, and there we go. So now it says press down 3 times. If I grab my Polygon tool again, make it, press on the down arrows, 1, 2, 3. Now I have a triangle. Keep it straight. Going to use selection tool, hold down Shift, and shrink it. And then Polygon tool again, press the up arrow 2 times. But that does not look right. I must have pushed up 3 times. Okay. Just move this guy down. Hold down Shift, shrink it a little bit. Okay. So now we'll select the Polygon tool again, double click, put your radius to 15 millimeters and your sides to 10. Click OK. And perfect. All right, next tool, Round It Rectangle tool. Go back to your tool menu, Round It Rectangle. And just like the regular rectangle tool, you're just going to draw that one out. Now, if you press and hold, so we're going to draw this out, press and hold up. See how it kind of lets you stretch it a little weird? And then you can kind of stretch it out a little bit. So that really rounds the ends. And then our last one, double click, width 65 millimeters, height 7 millimeters, and corner radius 35 millimeters. Okay, and there we go. All right, once you're done, zoom out, use the snipping tool to take a picture of this, title it with your first and last name, underscore shapes or creating shapes, and turn this in on Google Classroom. Do not forget to save your guys' documents, okay? Go to File, Save, and then save it in your folders. It's very important that you guys save your documents.